Mike Carey here, and you're listening to the So We Don't Forget podcast. And there you go.
Welcome to So We Don't Forget, the podcast where two siblings talk about stuff so we don't forget. I'm Felicia.
And I'm Jeremy. You guys are in for a special treat. This is episode 46, but we decided to pull an audible once again, which we did mention last episode. Maybe we'll pull an audible.
Well, we did.
So we decided to talk about, well, you already know what the thing is, but it's Wicked. We're going to talk about Wicked. The movie just came out. We've seen it when we're on vacation. It was myself, Felicia, Jamal, and Tatiana, and then Alexander went with the boys and Chrissy a few days after. Which, real quick, since I mentioned Chrissy, just want to say happy birthday to Krista, because her birthday
Happy
is
birthday,
on
Chrissy.
the 4th. So this comes
Where's
out.
the balloons?
I never remember. Oh, it's just one hand. This comes out on the 2nd, and her birthday is the 4th. So happy birthday to Chrissy.
Yeah, I was telling Jeremy, I was like, there's like a birthday almost every
Yeah,
episode
she's like,
here.
who's it this week? And I was like, oh, it's Chrissy. She's like, all right,
I knew there was going to be another one.
all right. And then we have a few weeks, but also that's the same week that this goes live. John wants us to go to that holiday train thing on that Saturday. So
Oh, yeah.
we'll see if it happens. Well,
we'll
he
see.
talked about that, but then we talked about going to Lake Geneva instead. So who knows?
Yeah, there's a couple different
Anyways.
things.
Yes. Like I said, we were talking about Wicked, just stuff we what do you call it? I don't know, just stuff about it, stuff we noticed. I guess I should say right off the bat that I never saw the musical, but Felicia did, and she's seen it in person. I did used to listen to a couple songs, Defying Gravity, obviously, of course, all the time.
Mhm.
Excuse me, sorry.
Excuse you.
So we're just gonna basically go into some things about it. So why don't you start with whatever you want to talk about?
Okay, well, my thing is that I did see it in Chicago on Broadway like
Mhm.
years ago.
I want to see 11
Really good.
somewhere around there.
11?
Either way, that sounds about right to me.
Maybe. I want to say it originally went on Broadway back in 03, though.
Yep.
It was a long time ago. I think so. I'm pretty sure I'd seen people
3 or
posting
4,
about it.
something around there. Either way, it was right around that time frame.
So obviously I didn't see it right away and not with the original cast, but still saw it. And when I saw it, I was like, wow, that is like amazing. And then I read the books. I didn't want to see anything beforehand. I know there was like trailers. I didn't watch it. I
Yep,
never
we were in
want
the
to watch
theater, and she literally
trailers.
was going like this. Like, I don't want to see it. I'm like, really? She's like, I
I didn't even
can't
want
do
to hear it.
can't do
I didn't even want to hear it. I just
No,
wanted to be
She
surprised.
was like doing this, plugging her ears and everything, so she couldn't hear anything.
But I do have to say, compared to the Broadway and the books, I thought it was really good. It was better than I thought it was going to be.
Were you
Because
worried?
Jamal was like, I was. And Jamal was like, you should go in and thinking it's good. And I said, I'd rather think that it's going to suck and then not be disappointed.
That's pretty much what I do.
Yeah, but I would say comparable to Broadway and the books, really good. Really good. A lot of it was pretty much the same. And I feel like they put it into movie form really well. The one thing though that was different, which you wouldn't know, and I actually forgot about it until I saw a thing, was just about Glinda's best friend, who is a guy in the movie, is a girl in the musical and the book.
More you know.
Do. But I was
Doo-doo-doo.
like, oh yeah, it was. But now I kind of want to reread the books. I do want to.
I've never read them, but I kind of want to. But at the same time, I also don't, because I want to just experience it movie-wise instead of reading it.
Yeah.
But also got to wait a year to see
I'm
it.
disappointed about that because
I didn't know it was going to be only part 1 until it showed up and said Wicked Part 1. I'm like, what?
yeah, I didn't catch that then. But when I knew how long the movie was, and I was like, okay, she's gonna sing Defying Gravity soon, and there's a whole bunch of that's about to happen, so it's gonna be to be continued.
I had to go to the bathroom real bad at one point, and I was like, I don't want to miss Defying Gravity. But I seen you get up and like book it. And I'm like, okay, if Felicia's getting up, then she's not gonna miss it, so I can go.
I knew the random little filler songs where I'm like, I can go right now.
It was funny though, because like I walked out of the bathroom and then she did, and I said something like, hey Felicia, she's like, hurry, let's go. And we're like
Yeah, I
booking
didn't
it back
wanna
in the
miss
theater.
anything.
It was like not long after we sat down, like the whole like thing started. So we had plenty of time, but still, it was like
I knew when to
get back.
go.
Oh yeah, I was waiting. I'm like, if Felicia goes, then we'll be okay. And I heard, it's a seat moving back up. I'm like, all right. Something that I found out, just kind of a general thing here, is the that's how it happened. Like the original Wizard of Oz, which is what it's based on, started as a book that went to a musical that went to a movie. Wicked started as a book, went to a musical, and is now a movie.
That's right. Follow
So
the same
that is
pattern.
cool. It's not on my list, but I just remembered it. But I was watching New Rockstar's video behind it, so I could get like the other stuff, I guess you could say. Which I just want to say it was
Harley.
wow. Yeah, she found a box.
Oh,
You're not
fun.
gonna. It's like this big, and she thinks she's gonna
She
fit
said.
into it.
She
going,
said I can do it.
She's trying to stick her face, and she's upset. She gave up. Anyways, let's see. There was something I was gonna bring up. Oh, when in Defying Gravity, when they do that unlimited part,
Yeah.
the what the hell? The thing they're playing on the piano that's to the same tune as Somewhere Over the Rainbow. Usually the same notes too. It's just
Interesting.
played and sang it a little bit differently. The person who created Defying Gravity was talking about it, and he's like, "Oh, is a callback to the original one?" And then once he plays it for you, like, "Oh, I guess it is there." He was also saying, excuse me, just because we're talking about Defying Gravity, that the way he wrote Defying Gravity was like when she's on a broom, you're like, I'm defying gravity, and then it goes back down and goes back up again. I was like, oh, that's really, really cool.
Oh, I did not notice that.
I didn't notice it either until you mentioned it. Then once he said it, I was like, oh, now I hear it. And then like another thing about it, like in the movie, well, I guess spoilers ahead because we're just gonna talk about the movie, so screw it. There's
Well,
spoilers.
everything's gonna be a spoiler.
Like I didn't see the play, but
Put it in the caption.
yeah, there you go. Spoiler. I'll just put the big thing. This is a point for editor Jeremy too. Hey, make sure you put spoiler warning across our face at the beginning of the episode.
Yeah.
Anyways, I'll put a description too. They change it up a little bit in the movie. Defying gravity. She said, it's me or whatever. Like they said in the play, she just rises up right away and says it's me. But in the movie, she jumps through the glass and falls first and then rises again. So I guess the song's a little different that way. Because they said like it's me is saying like it's her. Like it was her the whole time sort of thing.
That is true. Yeah, the way she does say it is a little different.
Yeah, which is very good. I was telling Felicia, I said, because we saw it Thursday and this album didn't come up to Friday. I said I was listening to it. I said I was so hyped afterwards. I said I just felt like I didn't know. I felt like I'd run through a wall or something. I'm just like, I don't know. I was amped. I'm like, I need to chill. Like I was like, my hand at one point, I was doing this. I was like, I need to chill, Jeremy, because I was playing drums to it too afterwards. I was like, I need to chill. But then I was okay. Harley was just like, what's up with this guy?
Is this guy all right?
Yeah, I have more stuff to bring up, but I'll just go back and forth for a sec.
The one thing that I do want to mention is because of the part 2 thing, it sucks that it's a year away, which
yes,
you could say at least it's only a year,
right?
Because other movies take way longer and you do need time, I feel like, to just enjoy this movie as a whole. But then it sucks because people who haven't read the book or seen the musical like you and like everyone else,
right?
I so bad just don't want what happens in part 2 to be spoiled. Right. And there's already so many things now if you just look up things about part 1 and they tell you the stuff about part 2.
Like even in the video, they're like, oh, like we're not going to spoil anything like you haven't seen, like if you haven't read the book, like we'll have a spoiler corner. So they got the was like, okay, now it's time for the spoilers. And they're like, oh, so if you haven't seen it, like turn off whatever. As he's like saying that, I'm looking for the remote. I was like, where's the remote? Where's the remote? I got it off and he didn't mention anything. He's like, okay, so do you want to go first? And then I cut it off. I was like, okay, good. I didn't spoil anything. Because this is my dilemma. Comment down below. I kind of want to read the books, but also at the same time, I don't. Because I would just want to experience it like this way and then read the book. But I don't know. I also really want to know what happens. I will say, though. I think
it would be better to see it.
Just wait to see it. That's what I'm thinking. This is my thing. Jamal knows Felicia. I'm the type of person, like, something like this, generally, I would Google it and find out. I have not Googled it once because I don't want to know.
I was going to say, if you Google anything, because anything I even look up, because I already know everything, you don't even have to look it up. It shows
like, everything. I was looking at the casts, just because I'm like, oh, this person looks familiar, this person. Like, I did, for whatever reason, I know who Jeff Goldblum is, but I wasn't 2 and 2 together until I watched that video. It was like, he was the Oz guy. I was like, oh, that's why he looks so familiar. Like, even the cast, I was like very worried about searching it, like someone was gonna give away like something. I was like, oh,
I don't know. They might.
I think I'm just gonna wait, but we'll see.
It just like, stinks you have a whole year that you can't.
Right, because I thought it was like okay, because it was like almost 3 hours. Like okay, that's good. Like, oh, I'm fine. Like I'll watch it. And then like I saw part 1, and then as soon as the movie's over, the credits rolling, I look, I'm like, a year away. I'm like, what? I gotta wait that long?
Yeah. The thing is, even too, like, if you listen to the music from the original Broadway and
Hmm.
listen to the songs all from part 2, you're probably gonna know what happens
Right. I'm saying
and
I've never have.
spoil it.
Usually, I always stopped at Defying Gravity, which
So
uh like I get why they ended with Defying Gravity because it makes sense. Plus, it's the end of Act 1. I do know that much,
yes.
and I'm just like, damn, like they did
I
so
just
well,
hate to wait in the other songs
right?
because Jamal was saying he was like, damn, it was getting really good. I was like,
Hmm.
Act 2 is crazy.
That's pretty much,
Crazy.
excuse me, that's pretty much what the new Rockstars people were saying. But they're like, we're not going to spoil anything. I'm thinking on my mind, I'm like that, like everything like built to that moment. From what I heard too, like they used
So
Defying
much
Gravity like to
happening.
end Act 1. There's like a like, oh well, I need to see what happens next. And I'm like, yeah, it's perfect.
Yeah.
I'm like, because like all the stuff built to this moment, and I'm like, well, what happens now? Then I start thinking back to the Wizard of Oz. I'm like, well, what about this? What about that? Blah 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 blah. Blah. I'm like,
I'm like, they could
I
have
don't know,
literally did the whole movie and did it the same way and had like a 15-minute intermission for people to like
right,
go to the bathroom, stretch your legs, go get some more popcorn, and I would have came right back and
right.
watched the rest of it.
Like I was telling Felicia too. Like when the movie ended, I was like, oh well, it was a no, it was like close to being over. I think it was like right before Defying Gravity or something. I forget when. I was like, oh, I think we maybe got like an hour left, and I looked, and I was like, it's the movie's like about over now. I'm like, what the hell? Like this is
Yeah. It goes
um
quick.
yeah. Who said something last? Was it me or you? I don't remember. I think
I
it was
think
you.
me.
The other thing I wanted to point out that me and Felicia did talk about, which she was like, "Oh, I found out that too." They actually were really singing. I really, really
Yeah.
like that. From what the video I saw, which was posted by Wicked, was they said that they felt that the performances would be better if they were actually singing. So I don't know how much of the actual takes they used, like for the actual music, because like if you listen to Defying Gravity at the beginning part, you can tell that it goes from like a dialogue thing to like musical thing, like the way her voice, her like the effects they had on her voice changes. Like you can tell it went from like, okay, this is like all the stuff for when you talk for dialogue, and then it goes to like music stuff, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can just tell it's different. But I remember watching the movie, I was like, is Ariana Grande really singing? I'm looking like I could like you can if you look at someone's throat, you can tell like when they're talking and whatnot. I was like, oh, she really is singing. I was like, look at that.
Which I'm glad they did that because I think
Me
it looks
too.
so fake when they're just like
Yes.
faking it.
Like you can tell. Like
Yeah,
certain movies, it's like, yeah, whatever. But like that, I'm like, yeah, I'm glad they did because I was
they
thinking, I'm
had
like, it
to.
looks like they're singing because I wasn't sure if it was just like where they sing, but they're actually like it's backtrack. But no, they're like, no, we
Yeah.
actually like use the audio from it. And I was like, that is awesome.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Which is good because I saw they said that they would feel more connected to the scene and each other if
Mm-hmm.
they're actually singing it, which
Absolutely.
makes sense. And I'm like, more people should do it, but I feel like they don't want to because it's more work.
Right, and then plus then you got to make sure it's like super quiet on set and stuff like that, and you actually got to have like you really got to pay attention to audio stuff wise.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can't just be like, oh, like here's just a microphone, whatever. Like no, you actually got to pay attention to like all that stuff. Like I seen too, like the person who plays Alphaba, like she was in like this rig so she can fly and stuff. She said that she had to like breathe a different way just so she could sing.
I did see that as well.
I was like, that is awesome. I have to check this
Um,
one off. I was like, what else did I mention? Never
s-
saw the musical. I'll check that one off too.
I would say speaking of them singing, I do have to say the only thing I hear my dog going nuts. Millie, shout out Millie.
Hi, Millie.
She's in her crate trying to get out. We're almost done, Mill. Oh, about halfway. Um, I knew Ariana Grande was gonna be Glinda.
Mm-hmm.
As I said before, not really a fan of her. And then I seen her like be like extremely like just. I know they say she shouldn't comment on people's weight, but she's lost a lot of weight, right?
Yes, she has.
And then the thing with the person who played Alphaba, and there was the thing about her with she was mad about the poster, and I'm like, oh.
Actually, I had that on here to bring up.
I'm like, so she's a but because I was like, oh, I don't know.
I'll
If
let
I'm
you
gonna
say your
like
point
them.
first, and then I'll say what I was going to say.
I would say I really enjoyed both of them and actually thought both of them
Yes.
were perfect fit for each
Mhm.
role.
Which, the one thing I was going to bring up since we're talking about it now, Ariana Grande, I was telling Felicia, I seen an interview she did, I think maybe 10 years ago, and she was talking about Wicked, and like, cause she was like a theater kid and whatever, and she saw it on Broadway, whatever, and they're asking her like, oh, if you ever play the Cooch, she said, Glinda, I would absolutely want to play Glinda. And I'm like, that's crazy that she ended up playing Glinda.
That is
which
weird.
I saw a thing too, where they were talking about it, and there was the director talking about how they casted people, whatever, and he said for Ariana Grande, like she came in, did it, whatever. He said he had her come back again without makeup and then do the same thing again. He said that way it's like what do you call it? Like I'm trying to figure out how he said it, but basically like it was just like her. She wasn't like dialed up sort of thing, you know? That makes any sense? Actually, I don't
I
know if
did
it does or
enjoy
not.
her makeup compared to her makeup in real life. And I seen her post that she said that she thinks she wants to wear her makeup like that for a while in real life.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
But
Yeah.
I do say she did really good at the
She did.
acting, and the singing was
Mhm.
really good. And she definitely I feel like was like the character. So I feel
Right.
like you
I'm
didn't
saying
really, weren't
I
just the
feel
whole
that
time like,
I feel
oh,
those
that's
two people
Ariana.
were casted very well. Like the whole time I was just like, oh, that's Glinda, you know, like, and the other was like,
Mhm.
oh, that's Alphabet. Like you weren't like, you know, sometimes you see like, I guess I could see it as them, or you could be like, oh, I could have seen that person. It's like no, because I seen
You can't like see past who they
right.
really are.
Yeah, I like saw like the list of people who also like what do you call it, audition for the roles, and I was like, nope, they made the right choice.
Yeah, I really think they did.
Right.
Which I know before I was like, I don't know.
Yeah, I remember
But
you saying you're like, yeah, I don't know, but they did
I will
really good.
say
I feel
very
like
well.
too, like especially like someone like a star, like the status of like Ariana Grande, like she could have like went like got it to her head sort of thing, like oh, like of course, like blah blah blah, you know, like tried to like try too hard sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think she did, which also is
No,
probably because she was such a big fan for like all those years too.
which is true.
Right, which ran a fact that I didn't know until because they're like, oh, Glinda. I'm like, I thought this lady's name was Glinda until she's like, oh, in honor of this dude, I'm just gonna be named Glinda. And I was like, oh, that makes a lot of sense.
That's right. Name
I
change.
never knew. Bada bing, bada boom. But
Do-do-do.
you had alluded to it, and I don't know if you have a picture of it, the poster, that whole thing. Uh,
Oh yeah.
so basically, what happened, which I'll get the pictures here so you can see as I talk about it here, and then you can intervene if I mess any of this up. So basically, I'll start with this. This is the original Wicked poster from when it was on Broadway, right?
That's correct.
So, from my understanding, a fan. Well, no, hold on. First of all, let me see, because then there was a new poster for it. Then this was the poster when the movie was announced. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
which good, fine, whatever. A fan ended up editing it, and this is what it came up with. So she basically made it look like the original, but the red lipstick. Where's my finger at? There it is. To me, the red lipstick adds a lot to this because it makes it pop more. Because like her
Yeah.
green lipstick is kind of whatever, but she got like super pissed off and said that actually the thing I found actually has her quote on there, so I can read it word for word. This is the wildest, most offensive thing I have seen, equal to that awful AI of us fighting, equal to people posing the question, is your bleep green? None of this is funny. None of it is cute. It degrades me. It degrades us. The original poster is an illustration. I am a real life human being who chose to look right down the barrel of a camera to you, the viewer, because without words we communicate with our eyes. Our poster is an homage, not an imitation. To edit my face and hide my eyes is to erase me, and that is deeply hurtful.
Yeah. So yeah, she pretty much felt like she was disrespected because they hit her face. But
And added the red
I'm
lipstick.
like, that was literally someone just did that because they were like, oh, I'm gonna do it like the original.
Right. To me, I
And
mean, again, I'm not her, but I feel like it's an overreaction because
yeah, did you see
it's
afterwards? She was like, thinking about it, I should have just like called my friend and said that instead. Like, yeah, you
no, I
should
didn't see
have.
that. Yeah, I figured it was one of those things like a knee jerk reaction. Like, plus, I'm sure also she saw what other people were saying, then she realized, oh, that's not what it was.
Yeah.
Because I mean, if and even me, like, I didn't see, uh, like I said, I didn't see the musical, but I seen the poster of Felicia's room enough as a kid, or not as a kid, like growing up, whatever. Ever since she had it, like I seen that poster so many times, I knew exactly what it was. Because like I saw the whole thing on Twitter because it popped up, and then all of a sudden it popped up.
Jeremy
Where she
loves
said,
Twitter.
well, it's not as good as it used to be. But anyways, like I saw it, and I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. She did not think so.
The funny thing is, recently, it wasn't as big of a thing because it was just like people arguing in the comments.
Mhm.
Someone redid it on Photoshop and they redid Glinda to match with that white hat and everything.
Yeah.
And people were all like, that's a hat. That's a white pointy hat. You can't do that. And then there was like some people like, dude, look at the original poster. So it was just like, but that one, of course, didn't get as big, probably because
I'm saying I
Ariana
didn't even know
Grande
about that one.
herself didn't comment on it. I actually I don't think I saved it. I think it was on TikTok, to be honest with you.
Mm.
So I don't think it even got enough foot traffic to find out.
I'm saying I have
But
no
I
idea.
saw it. I was on there.
I'm not surprised. Let's see. Nope, that's not the right one.
I don't even know if you'll be able to find it.
It might be erased, but yeah, if she said nothing, it would be no big deal. It made news
Yeah, no
because she
one would have
said
said
something.
anything. But
Yeah, I can't
piggybacking
find
off
it.
of that, I will just say how there is talk. And funny thing is that this happened in real time with us the other day because we had this conversation. Because I said, "Oh, people on Twitter are saying how they're saying that Wicked is for black women as Barbie was supposed to be for white women." And Jeremy and Jamal were like, "I don't really think so." And I was like, "Well, they're talking about the whole thing of people acting differently because of her skin color," and they were like. Oh, yeah.
After you said that, yeah, I was like, it makes complete sense. I didn't
I
understand
had.
until she pointed that out. I was like, oh, like it's
Jim
not
said
trying to
he
be like, oh, I
didn't.
don't see color thing. I was just like, oh, like, but like, like I said, even I knew like Alpha, as in like again, I didn't see it, but even I knew that Alpha was green. I was like, oh, okay, she's green, like no big deal.
Yeah.
But I didn't think about it until she pointed out. Then I'm like, oh, that makes a lot of sense actually.
I mean, there are comparisons if you're like paying attention. Like everyone
Right.
doesn't like her, makes comments about her skin
Especially
color
when
and
she
this and
first
that.
gets there and all that.
But then of course there's other people that are like, how could you compare that? That's so different. I don't know. I think it's
Right.
it's comparable with that. And then there's just a whole thing, just how things are now. And then there's also the aspect of like there's talking animals in it and like just like a whole nother thing. It just there's like in general of like people's or even like whatever is rights getting taken away and the animals aren't allowed to talk and being kept in cages. Which while
Right.
that was happening, I was like, it really made me think of like zoos and and I was like, damn. Not the animal. Well, maybe the animals do talk and we just don't understand.
Right.
But just the whole thing with the cages. So it's a lot. And I don't remember if Jeremy even knew that part about the animals that could talk in there.
I did not. I just was like, oh, they're talking. That's cool. And then all of a sudden it turned into the thing. I was like, oh, I didn't know that was a thing.
Yes, sir.
The next thing I was going to bring up was I loved how they let the OGs have their time to shine.
Oh,
It would
yes,
be
I did have
Idina
that in there.
Menzel, and if I pronounced her last name wrong, I apologize. Kristen Chenoweth, I think is how you pronounce it. Either way, again, I never seen it, but I know who they are because I've watched videos and whatnot of her. But all of a sudden they like show up, which turns out the guy who announced them before that he was uh what's the dude's name? The F1 Ferraro, what's his name?
Fiero.
Fierro. He did Fierro a couple times. But they showed up and I was just like, "Oh damn, there they are." It's like, "Look at
Yeah,
that." And then she even got to hit the note.
she did, which was cool.
Another thing I want to point out was I like how they like her note was like kept as hers, but like the new alphabet like got her own. I like that too.
I did. And before that, there were like, sometimes they played commercials before the
Mhm.
movie or trailers, whatever. And
Right.
there was one of the new lady playing Alphaba, and
Yeah.
she hit the note, and it was different. And I looked at Jamal and I said, if they change it, I'm gonna be pissed. But then when I saw that scene and how they let her or the original be in it and
Yep.
have
Hit
her
that note.
note,
Mhm.
and then
Which
I
is
was
like
like,
okay.
okay, I'm fine with this other one changing it to be for her.
Right, like her own thing.
Yeah.
I really, really like that. Like when they're both there, I'm like, this is like the whole time, like this is awesome. And then the thing I love too was how they went to the respectable people. Like Kristen went to Ariana, and Adina went to. I keep forgetting what is her name? The person who plays Alphaba. I forget how to pronounce it.
I have to look.
Let me look. Wicked 2024. Cynthia something or something. Yeah, Cynthia Erivo. That's what it is. Sorry. For
That's
some
not a
reason I thought her name
apologize.
was something else. Yeah, I don't want her to get mad at me now. But I like how
She's
they
gonna
went to the
find you.
respected people and like went next to them, like whatever they did, like put their hand on whatever and like smile. I'm like,
Yeah.
like
Excuse me. It's having
Felicia's
a
getting
moment.
choked up over here. Look at that.
Yeah, it was emotional.
It was like I will say, excuse me, because Felicia and I've talked about the song "Defying Gravity." I know we keep bringing it up, but it's just such a fantastic song. And she's like, Like, you ever just feel something in the car? I was like, oh, I'm like, yeah. I'm like, I'll be driving. Like, I'll get goosebumps for it, whatever. Even like the
Yeah.
whole, pretty much that whole, especially like when I got to like towards the end of it, like the last probably half of the song, like when it really got intense, like I had goosebumps the whole time. Then the
Yeah.
way it
That
ended,
was
I was like, whoo,
intense.
whoo. I was like, you guys got me. I'm ready for Act
You
2. And I
got me.
look, it's a year away.
Gotta wait.
It's like, damn it.
But yeah,
Yeah.
it was
Very good.
I did a very good job.
Comment down below what you thought.
Yeah, let us know. Oh, and I do want to also comment on the popular song.
Yes. That song was get stuck in my head.
Really good. I loved how they did it.
I got something else to add about that. Go ahead.
Okay. I thought it was really funny. Sorry, I don't know why
Another
my
like
voice is going.
that's like another one of those, not your voice, but like the whole like the singing part, like Ariana Grande like made that her own thing too. You
Oh,
know?
definitely. Definitely. And I loved
In a
how
good
they
way.
kept switching the scenes and stuff and showing them. People are saying it's
Yes.
iconic when Glinda is walking with her books and all her friends are like walking next and doing like their
Yep.
dance
I've seen
and
that.
shit.
Yep.
It really was though. It
But
was really good.
very good. The thing I was gonna bring up was another callback to Somewhere Over the Rainbow. Uh I, f- I already forget the line now. It's a very like big moment in the song. She just keeps going higher and higher with the octaves, whatever. She's like moving around Alphaba, but it's like in like a rainbow motion like this.
Hmm.
Let me look at the lyrics real quick. That's one of those songs that I've heard too, and I'm just like I know it. That part was get stuck in my head. You popular, you're gonna be popular.
It's a good song.
Where is it? Oh, the
Really
la
good.
la's part.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, oh, that's cool. Because, like, I guess they said in the show they, like, do something else. But, like, in there, she was, like, on the ground, but, like, pushing herself, like, in a rainbow thing. I was like, oh, that's cool. Like, there's a lot of callbacks that I wouldn't have caught. Even just, like, the original Wizard of Oz.
There are. Another thing she does in that song is when she's going through the clothes is Glinda holds up some ruby red shoes and
Yep.
she taps them together 3 times
I was just going to point that out.
and then she tosses them. But that is in there too. Another little callback.
Another thing I saw, too, was Nessa Rose was wearing striped socks.
She was.
I don't know
Another.
what it means, but it's going to mean something.
Now I can't think of the word. What are all these things they're doing? Easter eggs? Not Easter eggs.
People say Easter egg. Well, some people
Well,
say
no,
Easter
you said
eggs.
callback. Oh, nod. I'll say nod
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
to the original.
Which
Well, not-
Felicia let me know the person who played Nessa Rose is from Wisconsin.
She is. So, holla for a dollar.
Holla for $1.
But I will say, though, Tatiana said when she first saw it, Nessa Rose is. And, well, there's the scene when they're in the club.
Mm-hmm. In the clear,
She
we all
don't even-
firm.
She don't even stick up for her sister.
Nope. Not one bit. The only person who did was Glinda.
Which was wild.
Very wild.
And, like, there's just so many, like, good things. Like, where did she get that hat from? Glinda gave it to her to make
Yeah.
fun of her.
And then she ended up liking it. Like, in the scene Defying Gravity, too, it was pointed out, like, when she gave her, like, cape or whatever to put over her, like, first she walked by some green stuff. And she walked past that and it's like, nope, this is you. This is all black. Which another thing I seen, excuse me, it said that the clothes that Elphaba was wearing when they first were staying the night at the, like, at the school, whatever, like, she was wearing, like, white. Yeah, at the shiz, she was wearing like white clothes and stuff, and they're like, it has to be Nessa Rose's because she did not plan on staying, and all her stuff is black. It's like, oh, I didn't think about that. There was something else I was gonna bring up, and now it's gone.
Was it about the shoes that the dad gave Nessa Rose?
No, but I was gonna bring that up too.
Oh, Tatiana thought it was stupid that he gave them to her and not Elphaba.
Mm-hmm.
But they are silver and they're designed to be clouds, and the heel is a tornado, which is another nod to
Let's say that
the original.
Galinda, her whole outfit is all about bubbles. Like even like her tiara crown thing. It's like bubble shaped, like her dress looks like bubbles. They said and stuff like that. I was like, oh, I never thought about that. Because again, they pointed out, you're like, oh, that makes a lot of sense. That's
Yeah,
why I
they
always watch
did a
breakdowns.
lot of stuff.
I've been waiting for that breakdown. It came out, I think, yesterday or something. I was like, oh, I know what I'm doing. Then Felicia said, oh, we should do Wicked. I was like, I literally came home like, all right.
Hmm.
It's like, I'll watch as much as I can. And then you pushed it back a little bit. And I was like, all right, sweet. So I finished the whole thing.
There
Like,
you go.
I did it. Like, until they got to the part like, all right, time for spoilers. I'm like, turn it off.
Turn it off.
Turn it off.
I just feel like there's no way to avoid spoilers for a year, but I really wish
Right.
that you would because it'll make the movie that much better.
The only thing that I thought of when I first seen it right away, and Felicia said, you Googling stuff? I said, no. This is just my preemptive thought brain working for next year. I think the Oz is Elphaba's father. I don't know.
Oh.
I'm not Googling it because I don't want to Google anything about the Oz because I don't want any spoilers happening. But I'm just going to dangle that carrot and then go away from that. That way, just in case Felicia says something, then all of a sudden she like says, well, actually, you know.
Well, if you paid attention, you would find out.
I probably would have, but I was just like in awe of like
No,
another.
you
Oh,
won't.
that's what I was gonna bring up. Like all that one shot where they're walking, which I didn't realize like Dorothy and all them were in there until you told me.
Right in the beginning, the first shot.
But I think the lion is walking on all fours instead of standing up.
Mm.
But the thing I meant to bring up was the tulips when they're walking. Those are all real. They
I
planted
did see
all
that.
of
I was
that.
like, that's wild. They
And the
planted a
whole
lot.
school, the Shiz, they actually built that. That was a practical set. It took 20 weeks to complete, but they built that whole thing. Like in
Why
like
it looks so good.
they put it somewhere, but yeah, the whole thing was amazing, amaze balls. That's all the things I had on my list to talk about. Just besides, it was amazing, and I want to see it again.
Yes, it was.
Excuse me,
There you go, Jerry.
Diet Coke.
Let's see. I will
Fuck
also
you
just
there.
say,
That's
just
stuck in
the
my head.
dancing through life scene, I think, is also very iconic.
Which
The
one's
one
that
where Fiero's coming in and talking about how he's just dancing through life. It's like la la la. And
Yep.
then Glinda's with
Classic.
that Brock guy, and then she's like, oh, you should really go out with Nessa Rose
Mhm.
instead, just for me.
Right.
And then when they're at the club, then she's all like, oh, why are you here? And he's like, oh, and then he sees Glinda with Fiero, and he's like, oh, it's actually because I just really like you, blah, blah, blah. I just think it's funny how they ended up together, and then they're both so thirsty to just be with anybody, they just end up going with it.
Right.
But I also really do enjoy that song. It's a
Yeah, I
very
forgot
just,
about
like,
it until they played. I was
upbeat,
like, oh, I
fun
know this
song.
song. That's a good one too.
It is. And the only other one I had on here was about, obviously, Defying Gravity, what we talked about. And then, what else did I have? Oh, when they're doing the What Is This Feeling?
Another classic.
Yes, so
Like,
good.
I will say, like, 'cause I've listened to the not all the songs on the soundtrack, but I've listened to a couple of them, and banger after banger.
Banger, banger.
Like sometimes, like you see like a musical movie, and like some songs are like, I guess it's okay. Banger, every single one, banger,
So
banger, banger.
good.
I see why it did so good. And Felicia was even looking. She's like, oh, I wonder if it's on Broadway. They could bring it back to Chicago, or is it Milwaukee? I think it was Milwaukee. Chicago. It was one of them.
Here's the thing.
Expensive.
The things they're very expensive. Say there happened to be something cheaper, or
Mhm.
someone somehow got a ticket. Would you take seeing it live over waiting the year to
Yes.
see the movie?
Yes. Yes.
It would
'cause
be
it's
amazing
different.
live.
I remember Felicia went and she told me how amazing it was. Ever since then, I'm like, I want to see this thing. Because
It's
it wasn't
so
in.
good.
I looked. It wasn't in Chicago too long. Like not long after you went. If it was, pretty sure it was 2011 from what I saw. Because I looked it up to like when it was playing. It was like January to February, but it was only for like 2 months in Chicago, and then that was it.
That's crazy.
Because then it like went to the West Coast. Like in New York, it was there for years, but it was only
Yeah.
like travel around here. Because I remember when at first you're like, oh my god, it's coming to Chicago, and then you went. It's like, damn, I want to go. I remember you. It was like a few years after that or something, maybe a few years ago. I forget when it was. You were talking about Wicked or something. It's like, oh, I want to see that. You're like, you do? I'm like, yeah, I want to see it. Plus, I've never
It's
been to like a
so
Broadway
good.
musical like that before.
Oh, the production is just
Oh, I want to see it.
chef's kiss.
So, if you guys use our code for Magic Candle Company, so we don't forget 15% off.
Yeah, that's right.
We can buy tickets and we can go.
Maybe
And
we can get
we
tickets
can make
to
it
go,
and we can make an episode.
and then
about
we
it. So there
can
you go.
we can talk about it. My other one closing thing will be
Yes.
how amazing this movie is. It's, as we said, it's amazing.
I
Purely
haven't seen a
amazing.
movie in quite a long time that's like had this impact where I'm like, I want to see it again. Like, this is amazing. Like, it's been a while.
It's so good.
The last
But
one I can think
they're
was like,
haters still.
right. The last one I
The
can think of
ones
was like
that are,
maybe Endgame. That was like
Mm,
had like that big like because
yeah.
this had like such a big like what do you call it like I can't even think of the word I'm looking
Let me
for.
show my cup too. My husband got me.
Oh, very nice. It's like I remember what I was gonna say now, but
Like
I'll
an
wait.
impact.
Yeah, there we go. Impact, like and like so much hype beforehand, because like when we seen Joker 2, which again, if you didn't like Joker 2, if you didn't like Wicked,
already
what does
know.
that mean, Felicia?
They're simple-minded. And the thing is that people are online not even seeing it, and they're just doing the videos with just their face, them staring, and text all over their face. Which, first off, when you do that, it's really hard to read that.
Yeah,
Where it's just all that
it's very
white
lazy.
text, like,
Very
and
lazy.
it's really stop being lazy, make up something. And it's just like I'm one of the people that just don't get the whole Wicked hype. Why would I go see that? Shut the up. Go see
No
the
one
movie
cares.
or don't. No one gives.
Yes, but like I just mean like from the pure impact of like movie tickets, because normally see a movie if you go on the weekend you can find like plenty of tickets, you'll be fine. The last time that I had this trouble trying to find tickets for opening weekend was Endgame, because I remember Jamal and I were on the phone again. We've talked about it. Jamal and I were we on the phone? No, we were texting. And then no, we were on the phone. That's right. We were on the phone. I was in a queue. He was in a queue. Felicia sent us like probably 5 or 6 different movie theaters. We ended up getting tickets and we were fine, whatever. But like this one, it was like, oh, maybe we'll go like Friday, Saturday, because we were in Lake Geneva until Thursday. It's like, oh, maybe we'll like go there, that we can take it easy the rest of the day. And it's like, there's only 2 times we could have had enough tickets, and it was either Thursday at 2 or Thursday at 3.
Balloons.
Nice. Felicia's like, oh, we'll do Thursday at 3, whatever. And then like I was like, oh, maybe I'll go see it after that. Nope. By then it was too late. Everything was sold out except the front row, and I ain't going front row.
No,
We
you
did that for
can't.
Endgame. We went like really nice seats for the first one. Then Jamal's like, screw it. When we get home, we'll just go front row after. I was like, oh, it's good, but it's just not the same in the front row.
Yeah, we gotta find
Mom
another
still
time
didn't
to
see
go
it.
though.
She said she wasn't able to go. I'm like, I want to see it again. Like I told Felicia, I'm like, this is a movie like I will legit buy when it comes out on like digital streaming and whatnot. Like
Oh
I would
yeah.
buy it. It was that good.
So if you've seen it,
Excuse me.
comment down below and tell
Yeah.
us your thoughts. If you haven't seen it, tell us what your excuse is, or you're just a
And
little.
if you're a hater, just let us
beep.
know, because we're the world's most hated podcast.
Yeah, so it won't matter to us. So once again, happy birthday to Chrissy.
Happy birthday, Chrissy.
And next week.
There we go.
Oh
Oh.
wait.
That's my part. Next week is going to be City Walk Hollywood.
Hollywood.
Hollywood. Food, snacks, and all that. The other thing I was going to mention, I just remembered it once again, was the way they did green in the movie. Like, it was pretty much just Elphaba
Oh,
until they
yes.
got to what's the name of the place where the Oz is at? What's it called? It's right here.
Emerald City.
Yes, green everywhere. It was like an explosion of green. I was like, that's all I had.
Great colors.
Fantastic movie. I love green too. It's a nice shade of green too. The green they had.
It's very beautiful. So make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and share. And we will see you next week. Toodles.
Deuces, Metusas.
Tower!